Charlotte Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 350A Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars. Two races left to go here on this fine Monday night. We welcome you to another edition of Monday Night Madness here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. We're in the final weeks of our 2024 fall season. Crazy to think the year is almost over, and our first penultimate race of the evening takes place for the Open 358. We're here at the sprint car capital of the world, the Knoxville Raceway, place that means a lot to many, near and dear to our hearts, but we're ready to set up the championship situations with 2 weeks to go. We're so glad you could join us here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, as well as on Slide Job Racing Network. Marty Sakala with you. Well, the car count last week at Lernerville Speedway was amazing for Open 358s at the racetrack in Sarver, and it is really good once again. 28 drivers checking into the evening, and we're excited to see what goes down. Last week, it all came down to a last lap pass battle for the win. Anthony Morano and Isaac Salas, and Isaac took home the checkered flag on the final lap. Could he be one to watch out for? Without question, he will be, but will he be able to take home the checkers? That is what we'll find out as you take a look at the nice views here around the Knoxville Raceway. Also want to give a big shout as well. We are racing as well tonight with Heavy Hearts, as we're thinking about our buddy and founder, one of the co-founders of Coast to Coast. That, of course, is Bill Calder. Bill suffered a stroke a couple days ago, and has lost control of one of his upper extremities. So, Bill, we're thinking about you, and if you're watching, man, we want you back in the sim rig as soon as possible, man. We hope you get well soon. That's for sure. So, qualifying is underway here at Knoxville. First driver we will watch will make their way onto the racetrack, and we'll put on the bandit, Randall Dixon, in the Leadfoot Mafia 011 machine. Seat times will pop up in the bottom of your screen, and of course in the leaderboard in the top left. We'll give you an idea of how the points look coming on in. Patrick Spangler always does a great job keeping us posted with the points with 2 left in the season. Times are being set here. Isaac Salas currently the quickest, 19.373. Anthony Morano, though, second, 19.4. Jake Henry, third, 19.41. Same with Dean Reynolds. Kurt Schatzer rounds out the top 5 at a 19.43. See if anyone pops up in the purple. Quick time, Anthony Morano. The Magic Ant-Man, 19.354. It was a 19.350 on lap 2 for Salas, so it's better, but not quick enough. Let's go to Bob to go in the 70s, currently 10th quick, 19.45. Musso up to 6th. That's Jake Musso. Been a while since we've seen him race with us in Coast to Coast. White flag out for Randy Shreves in the 56. His lap 1 time is 21st, the 19.63. And that will pretty much do it here for qualifying. So Morano is the quickest. We'll have 4 heats for you this evening. And so Harold Klump, Gavin Chatham, Trevor Giroux, Brian Dickens will be your pole sitters for each of the 4 heats. And so it's set to go for heat race number 1, brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Here's the starting lineup. On the pole, Harold Klump in car number 2. Next to him, it's the Bandit Randall Dixon in the 011. Row number 2, Superman Kurt Schatzer in the 218. And the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Row 3, that of course is the Brute to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. And Randy Shreves in the 56. And the final car on the grid this evening, Bud Molyneux in the 883. So winner starts on pole position. Top 4 will transfer in the feature. Again, Heat 1 brought to you by Gambler Motorsports, official team of the Coast to Coast Racing League. Klump and Dixon set to bring us here to the green flag.
Green, green, green.
8 laps, we're underway. Dixon gets the good jump off of turn number 2. Klump stays in second, Morano third, and Shreves up to 4th. Started 6th, but was able to take advantage of some grid penalties that were carried over from last week. Side-by-side battle for the second position as Dixon leads the opening circuit. Klump trying to grab third from Shreves, but he's got company in Schatzer. Meanwhile, for the race lead, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, so good at the bottom line at any of these racetracks, moves up to the top spot. We were nearly 3 wide for just a moment. Bud Molyneux thought about going for the 2-for-1 discount. Oh, he pops the wall really bad. Up and over he goes. Jeff Barker also collected. And somehow, Molyneux, I thought for a moment he was going to keep the 883 going, but nope, not able to. He'll race the B-main tonight. Dixon, Morano, Shreve, Schatzer, your current transfer cars. Jeff Barker being involved in that wreck. Hill Racing, our B main. Dixon fighting back though, high, wide, and handsome for the race lead. Nice slider from Morano. Dixon able to counter it back. But Morano just so good on corner exit here. And holds the serve for right now. Shreve's up 3 spots in the 3rd position. A lot of good company from Kurt Schatzer. Superman tried to look inside, but decides to hold it back a little bit. Harold Klump goes deep into turn number 3, looking for that final transfer spot. 2 laps to go here in Heat 1. Schatzer wants that insurance spot. Good look here for 3rd. Slide job. Schatzer sent it in. Shreves easily found that one coming, or saw that one coming. And Shreves is up to 3rd. White flag is out. 1 to go in the heat. Ooh, Klump contact with Schatzer. That may affect his chance to go for 4th here. And I don't think Schatzer will be too pleased with him, that's for sure. Off the corner, checkered flag waves as Morano takes the win. Dixon 2nd, Shreves 3rd. Schatzer, luckily though, makes it in regardless. Klump is 5th, Barker 6th, Molyneux in 7th. We now move on to heat race number 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection. Proud partner of Brian Lawson and the entire Venom Racing team. Gavin Chatham on the pole, the 99. Next to him, it's Michael Vitale, the jokester, in the 213. Row number 2, it's Stuart Friesen. No, I'm kidding. That's Jake Musso in the 44. And next to him, Isaac Salas rocking the Bill Calder tribute scheme. Row number 3, it's Joe Musso in the 00. Next to him, Canada Connor Ross, the 35. With a brand new paint job, I like that. And final car on the grid tonight, that's the General, Andy Patton in the 87. Well, let's know who you're rooting for in the chat tonight. We'll always interact with you there as we're set to come to green here for heat race number 2.
Green, green, green.
Chatham and Vitale, here we go. Up the hill goes the 99. Musso looking for the race lead. Jake Musso to be specific. Rubs door bars with the 213. Here comes Salas around the outside for that 3rd position. As the door shut, can't get back on the throttle quite early compared to Musso. However, though, does get good speed on corner exit. Now looks low, nearly 4 wide for the top spot. They were 3 wide for the race lead, and Chatham's hanging on the FTM ride. Salas very good on corner exit for right now. Vitale hanging on to that 2nd spot. Salas sends her deep. Thought about the slider line. See if he can get that to stick, but not able to just yet. 2 by 2 off the corner. In the wall goes Joe Musso. Jake Musso has to back out of it, and now the Musso fam is battling out for that final spot in. Still 3 wide once again. Salas lifts. Vitale moves up to P2. Battle for 4th. Jake and Joe. Nice glide through the corner there from Jake. Joe gets back on the throttle first as they drag race across the line. I think it was Joe for 4th. We're halfway home here, 4 up and 4 down in heat race number 2. Chatham with a good lead so far, 2 tenths, but Vitale with a great corner exit. Hang on, Isaac Salas. The 5 car got a little bit sideways. And here comes Vitale underneath on Chatham for the lead. And man, Salas had the rear wheels lifted off the ground by Jake Musso. Connor Ross also becoming a factor in this battle for a transfer spot, and he's currently in 6th though, but not too far behind, about 3/10 back on Jake Musso. Coming to the white flag this time by 1 lap to go. And heat race number 2 again, Chanel Vitale, Salas, and Jake Musso, currently your 4 transfer spots. Final lap is underway. Vitale looking for a run here. Remember, winner on the front row. Vitale turns Tatum. Salas gets collected. Connor Ross goes through. And same with Isaac Salas. Battle for the win. Connor Ross, oh baby. By 0.003 of a second. What the hell did we just see? Patton comes home to steal 3rd. Vitale makes it in. Jake and Joe Musso, Gavin Chatham are all out. Oh my goodness. Let's go to the iRacing replay. Connor was 6th. And Patton was 7th. We're going to go aerial shot on this. If we can find the blimp. There we go. Battle for win is on. Ooh, just slight contact there between Chatham and Vitale. Salas finds his way through. Meanwhile, Jake Musso catches a lot of heavy air time. Definitely a lot of air time without question. Heat race number 3 brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Here's a look at the lineup as the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux, is on the pole in the 75. Next to him, Bob D. Good in the 7. Row number 2, Soupy Dan McLaren in car 88. And Jake the Snake Henry in the 171. Row number 3, Sam Bachman in the 007. And the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83. Final car in the grid tonight, Michael Vecchio in the 247. However, though, does not make the call to grid for the green flag. Top 4 transfer heat 3 brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. Official sponsor of the retreads. We're underway. Boy, Bachman was leaning on that left rear quarter panel of Dan McLaren going off turn 2. Good battle for that final transfer spot as Jake Henry looks to get into the thick of things. Lap number 1 at the line is led by the Philly Flyer. Bachman clears up on the 171. They touch. McLaren goes around. Hang on, Dan. Holy moly, what a save. Dan's car was wrecked and cranked that wheel a couple of turns to the right. Now for the final transfer spot, Brandon Dittmer and Jake Henry. As they're dead even into turn 3. Dittmer dealing with some neck code issues. The blinking's resolved. Bachman, meanwhile, has made his way up to 3rd. By the way, Dan McLaren spun. Right now, he's got the fastest lap of the race in the 1957. And he is caught right back up to Jake Henry and Brandon Dittmer. What a comeback that would be if he were to steal a transfer spot out of a heat race. Here's Bachman low on DeGood for the 2nd spot. Ooh, they touch once again briefly off of turn 2. Bachman sends it in on board for the rear end. DeGood on the counter. At the line for 4th, meanwhile, it's Dittmer over Jake Henry. 3 laps to go in the heat race. And Dan McLaren is sending it in deep. He may go for the 2 for 1. Thought about looking low. Dittmer up on the wall. Backs out of it. Collects Jake Henry. McLaren with the send in deep. 2 for 1 discount for coffee. Buy one, get one free. He gives Jake Henry the lead. 2 laps to go. Slide drop from hell. Both of them get up in the wall for just a moment. And now Dittmer's back into it. Oh, baby, this is getting good. But Jake Henry's running out of time, and that gap's starting to get too big to make up. But he sends it in deep, catches the berm. Oh, my goodness, into McLaren. Henry goes some around. Brandon Dimmer underneath for the final spot in. Let's just watch the race for fourth as they come to the checkers. McLaren, Dittmer, who's it gonna be? Side by side off the corner of the checkers, Dan McLaren. Wow, wow, wow. He had people that wanted to take him out to do it. But guess what? McLaren won the damn war. Final heat race is set to go here. Here's the starting lineup as Brian Dickens is on the pole in the 122. Next to him, Sly Job Scotty, Scott Rayome in the 4. Row number 2, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518. And Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row number 3, Kelly Wheeler in the 11. In the 110, also the 11. And Butters, Jason Butterfield in the 93. Final car on the grid tonight, Michael Farmer, making his Monday Night Madness debut, but no call to grid tonight. Randy Shreves checking in. Thanks for joining us. He had a better perspective than I did during, I think it was Heat 1. No, it was Heat 2 when Salas had his wheels lifted off the ground. There was actually 0 contact.
Green, green, green.
Green flag waves. Final heat race underway. Rayome has the advantage for right now. Reynolds and Dickens side by side for second. Grandy holds on to that final transfer spot as Scott Rayome leads the opening lap. Dino looking for a run at the race lead off his teammate. Remember, when Full Throttle Motorsports starts near the front, they always work well together. Up the hill, though, goes Reynolds. Dickens looks underneath, leans on his quarter panel for the second spot. Joseph Scrandy, the final car in. Jason Butterfield went up trying to rip the cushion. They have cost him a little bit of time as here comes Grandy for P3. On board with 100 grand. Doesn't have the spot taken away just yet. Dickens trying to hang on with the slider, but can't do it because Grandy was to his right. He nearly touched going to turn number 3. They got there, both of them. Grandy may have gotten the bumper of Dickens, not too sure, but Dickens had a lot of yaw into turn 3. And he was still the quickest car on track that last lap at a 19.6. Grandy still hanging on to that final transfer spot at the moment. Two laps to go here. Scott Rayome still your race leader by about 0.3 of a second. Battle for fourth. Jason Butterfield trying to take it away from Joseph Grandy and not have to race the B main. Would still have a good starting spot, though. Would be from fourth in our B main this evening. However, remember, the top 8 drivers make it into our feature this evening. Final lap is underway. Rayome keeps her up top. Everyone else downstairs. It's ain't super speedway racing, that's for sure. Rayome opened up a big gap in that FTM Express number 4. Sly Job Scotty to take the checkered flag. He wins heat race number 4. Second Reynolds, third Dickens, fourth Grandy, fifth Wheeler, and sixth Butterfield. One more race left to go. It's the B main, and here is your starting lineup. Harold Klump on the pole in car number 2. Next to him, Jake Musso in the 44. Row number 2, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83, and Kelly Wheeler in the 110. Row 3, the Brood to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Joe Musso in the 00. Row number 4, Jake the Snake Henry in the 171, and Butters, Jason Butterfield in car 93. Rounding out the top 10, Jake the Snake Henry in the 171, and I'm sorry, right off the top 10, Bud Molyneux in the 83, and Gavin Chatham in the 99. In the final row this evening, Michael Vecchio, Michael Farmer. Those two do not call to grid. So with that being said, we have 10 drivers. Top 8 make it in, and we'll focus on the 8th place driver when we go green. Let's take a look at the standings coming on in with the drops in effect with 2 races left to go. This is, of course, where the first race can be dropped. If both races were dropped coming on into tonight of the worst races, Isaac Salas would have a 7-point lead on Anthony Morano with Sam Bachman third, 15 points behind.
Green, green, green.
Green flag waves for Heat 4 again, or excuse me, for the B main. Again, we'll focus on your 8th place driver once we end. We're just about 3 wide for second. Jake Musso looking to go 2 for 1, or trying to hang on to that second spot. It was Brandon Dittmer on the attack. Kelly Wheeler was trying to thread the needle as well in that 110 as we look at 8th. That currently belongs to Gavin Chatham in the 99. Jake Henry looks low for the spot. Now he goes around the outside of Jeff Barker to try and take away the position. Is it his for right now? It's right now it is. So now Barker hanging on. Bud Molyneux now immediately to his outside. Ooh, Barker though caught the berm. Lost a lot of time and momentum. So move Molyneux up to the spot. And so the 99 now chases down the 83 of Brandon Dittmer for 6th. Molyneux wants to take away that insurance spot, that's for sure. On board with him. You saw Dittmer lose some time. Molyneux had to lift because of it. Luckily, he had nobody to his outside, though. Chatham and Dittmer still remain wheel to wheel for 6th. Still really good racing on the track. Molyneux now up to 7th, and it's Dittmer's turn to hang on. And Jake Henry is all over him. Dittmer's got a mirror full of the snake. And the snake is underneath that spot. Can he send it in with a slide job? No, not just yet. The Spider Monkey hangs on to 8th for right now. But now Barker may get a run off for turn number 4. He doesn't. We've got 4 laps to go. Everyone all single filed out. Kelly Wheeler looking low for the lead on Harold Klump. That doesn't work, though. But still Dittmer with that final transfer spot in. And now you've got Gavin Chatham looking downstairs. Trying to get something to work on. I think that's Butterfield, if not Musso. And it is Butterfield for the 5th spot. 3 laps to go in our last chance qualifier. On board with Dittmer. Here goes Henry. Once again downstairs, but again, Dittmer continues to rip the lip. 2 sticks in the air, 2 to go. And now Dittmer wants a piece of Molyneux for the 7th position. On board with Henry. You see how close he is to him, but just can't get the momentum to make a run for P8. Gavin Chatham, though, experimenting at the same time while knowing he is in the show. He is making that low line work. His second pay. Oh, look out! Butterfield up in the wall, around he goes! Brandon Dittmer is in for now. Now he's out. Barker's got 8th. Molyneux sends it up the hill. Here comes Dittmer. Molyneux with no yaw. 3 wide. Who gets in the show? Barker 7th, Molyneux 8th unofficially. Dittmer goes home. Wow, 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 wow. Why don't we step aside and go to break? We've had a lot to digest, that's for sure. Well, when we come back, first feature of the evening on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Getting set to go for feature action here as the warm-ups continue. Let's go to the replays here, and let's go back to the B main and break this all down here for you. It all starts with Jason Butterfield in the 93. Just barely caught the 44, and Bud Molyneux had nowhere to go. Around went Butterfield. And then this is where it got really interesting. Dittmer got into Molyneux, sent him sideways. He catches Jeff Barker. Up the hill goes the 883. And then they're 3 wide. Look at how close this is. Oh, my goodness. You know what? I don't know. Oh, my goodness. It was that close. How close was it per iRacing in that B main for the final spot? That was close by 15 thousandths of a second. We had the photo for the Heat 2 when it was Connor by 2 thousandths. So, but the track is reset. Let's meet the field and give you your RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano in the 32. Next to him, it's the Canada Connor 35, Connor Ross. Row number 2, the 75 of the Philly Flyer, Trevor Giroux. Next to him, it's the 4 of Sly Job Scotty, Scott Rayome. Row 3, the Bandit, Randall Dixon in the 11, and Sly Job Isaac Salas in the 5. Row 4, Sam Bachman in the 007, and Dean Reynolds in the 79. Rounded out the top 10 are Andy Shreves in the 56, and the General, Andy Patton in the 87. Row 6, Bob DeGood in the 7, and Brian Dickens in the 122. Row 7, Superman, Kurt Schatzer in the 218, and the Jokester, Michael Vitale in the 213. Row 8, Soupy, Dan McLaren in the 88, and 100 grand, Joseph Grandy in the 518. Rest of the field looks like this. Row 9, Harold Klump in the 2, and Kelly Wheeler in the 110. Row 10, Joe Musso in the 00, and Gavin Chatham in the 99. Row 11, Jake Musso in the 44, and Jake the Snake Henry in the 171. And the final row this evening, Bud Molyneux in the 883, and the Bruta Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513. Hello to those checking in the chat. Chad Cote, the Goose, rooting for Dino. You also have Short Fused rooting for the Moose Souls. Megan checking in. Hi to you. Always rooting for Dean. Just a quick check before she heads back to work. I believe she'll be watching the rest of the telecast with Dino later tonight. And hello to Mark, as always, rooting for his grandson Isaac. Alrighty, so we are set to go racing. Time for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag. My pick to win. Give me Morano from the pole. Time to shake and bake for the first time tonight. Knoxville, Ross, bring us the green flag. Modifies in the sprint car racing capital of the world. You love to see it. It's time to get it on. As always, the fireworks go up into the night, taking the green flag here. Jeff Barker, Jake Henry have crashed. No caution flag. We stay green as the Magic Ant-Man leads lap number 1. Connor Ross, and now the yellow flag waves. Wasn't sure if it was for anything in the back. We see Joe and Bob off the pace. Ooh, Bob's got some heavy damage to the right front from the sounds of things. But Jake Henry, Jeff Barker. First two that were involved, and let's get you a look at the replay as we show you what happened. May have been an iRacing admin controlled yellow. Starts in the back when DeGood caught Kurt Schatzer, and once again the 44 caught a lot of air. Everyone was bucking around there. Here's the onboard with the snake. Everyone was trying to check up to avoid hitting Bob DeGood. A lot of drivers really paid the price. Barker, Henry were the two most notable. You see the right front sticking off. So as our first yellow of the night waves, we did complete the first lap, I believe. And that is confirmed to be true. Oh, Marcus Dad Graham says Arlen. I forgot Arlen uses Mark's account. Force to have it. All right, lights are off. Coming to the green flag. Morano wasting no time as he fires. We're back to green.
Green, green, green.
That's our first of two double file restarts this evening. And so Morano holds serve for right now. Rayome underneath on Connor Ross for the spot. Not able to take it away there for right now. Connor blinking for just a bit. Rayome still downstairs for second. This battle has kept on going for the last few laps or so. Isaac just been following suit with the 35. Hoping for that high side to stick. Ooh, Connor caught the outside guardrail there for just a moment. Salas around the outside for third. Can he get it? Dean Reynolds following suit there in that 79. Behind him, Sam Bachman in that 007. Still Duke get it for P2. Salas may have had to lift a little bit. I don't know if there was contact with Connor. I don't think there was. But Ross is cleared. Salas and Rayome for that third position. Now let's remember the standings coming in. It was Salas by 7. Bachman 15 back. We just had a new fastest lap of the race, and it belongs to the 6th place driver, Bachman in the 1977. But this battle has just been amazing. We show you a lap from the Chapman Racing drone as we work lap number 9. Salas stays in P3. And Rayome's actually lost a spot 2 to Dean Reynolds to that low side. Maybe starting to fade a little bit as Connor Ross is up on the wall. Here comes Salas. Takes advantage of P2, wastes no time at it. Reynolds to third. A lot of time was lost there from Canada Connor. Lost nearly a handful of spots. As Rayome has to send in deep. Trying to hang on, but Bachman, that left front sneaker on the berm, working it perfect. But some really good battles all around the Marion County facility. Morano still leads. That's been a constant gap. 1 second advantage on Isaac Salas. Reynolds third, Ross fourth, Bachman fifth. Let's show you Connor trying to fight back. Makes his way past Sam Bachman for now, on board with the 35. And Bachman got a great run on corner exit. These FDM cars love to run the bottom late in a feature. Will it work for Bachman? Not just yet. Some other battles on track 3 wide. Trevor Giroux ripping the top shelf in 7th. But how about that 99 Gavin Chatham? Started 20th. He's up to 10th. Near contact between Grandi and Vitale. Chatham is a man on a mission right now. Honestly, would not surprise me if he made his way up to maybe 6th or 7th by the time this race ends. Let's go back to the battle for the bottom step of the podium as it's Reynolds and Bachman. Now, something to keep in mind here. The yellow flag waves for the second time, so we'll keep that thought in the brain for right now. Second yellow waves for Bob DeGood. A look at what happened. Ooh, a lot of contact there all around as DeGood gets sideways. Contact not just off the 87, but off the 513 too. So something I was going to bring up here too. Your top 3 in the championship, 1st, 2nd, and 4th. Right now, no contact between each other. But let's remember here, the winner gets 75, 2nd 72, 3rd 69, 4th 66, and then it diminishes by 2 points. And there is bonus points on the line if you finish with 0 incidents. And you lose 1 point for each incident point. Morano, the race leader, he and Salas row 1, Bachman and Reynolds row 2, Rayome and Connor Ross row 3, Giroux and Chatham row 4, Vitale and Grandi round out the top 10. We are back to green halfway home here in Knoxville. Salas ripping the top, trying to get a clearance on Dean Reynolds, and that's the case. Now does Bachman have a chance at 3rd from the number 79? He does without a doubt. As we got cars all around, one up in the wall. I think that was Brian Dickens. We stay under the green flag for now. Still 3 wide for 3rd, and Dino's got Bachman cleared. Scott Rayome, Connor Ross, Gavin Chatham all in this battle too. Chatham now up 13 spots in the 7th. Your second biggest mover is up at 9. That's Jake Henry in 13th. Chatham now could go up 14 past Rayome. Really good racing all around the Knoxville Raceway. 12 laps to go. Look how tight that race it is between Ross and Bachman. And the 35 car nearly up to the wall once again. Somehow he still has the 5th spot. Now here comes Chatham looking for their spot in the top 5. What a night the 99 is having. From a mid-place finish in the B main to now up 15 spots into 5th. We're coming to 10 laps to go. Do not be surprised now at this point if Chatham contends for a podium spot. And now the leaders all hugging the bottom of this racetrack. And man, Chatham barely had Connor Ross cleared. Chatham's up to 5th. It's the high side in 1 and 2 and the lower groove in 3 and 4. That's where you want to be right now. Chatham trying to get past his teammate for 4th. But we also watched the race for the lead with 9 laps to go as Morano has not been able to pull away like he did in the start of the race. Isaac Salas all over his bumper. Right now it would be 4 points going into championship night next week at Charlotte. Here comes Salas, sends it deep with another slide job. Morano counters it back. And remember, it was these two that battled last week at Lernerville Speedway. Morano dominated that race. He led 29 laps, and then Salas stole the checkered flag from him on the final corner. There was some contact off in turn 2, but it was just good, hard racing. 7 laps to go. Different grooves. Salas decides to mess up with the top. Not a lot of drivers were using that in 3 and 4, and he lost some ground. The gap is down to 0.4 of a second. 6 laps to go. Salas up in the wall for just a split second. He's blinking once again. He's so good where Morano is. It's just so tough to get around him right now. 5 fingers in the air, 5 laps to go. And now Dean Reynolds looks to make it a 3-car battle for the win. On board the 5. You look at the lap times in the last 5 laps. Morano's been quicker in 3 of the last 5. But when Salas doesn't have to try and get around him. See right there, though, Morano's just a bit better. Four laps to go. Who will take the victory here tonight? And now there's 3 remaining. Salas downstairs, up on the berm. The battle is on for the race lead. Good corner exit from Salas. Doesn't make contact with Morano that time. The 32 hangs on. Morano looking for win 3. Salas looking for win number 7 on the year. 2 laps to go in Knoxville. That's Salas up on the wall. But he kept his foot on the throttle. Stays right behind the spoiler of Morano. They keep it in 3 and 4 downstairs. Final lap in Knoxville. Your top 2 in the championship going at it. And now is it Salas' time. Keeps her downstairs. Doesn't throw the slide job this time. He wants to make sure he has the ball for 3-4. They get together once again. Morano slams the door into 3 and 4. A defensive move by Morano. Does that give him the win? Morano wins the rematch. Salas 2nd, Reynolds 3rd, Chatham 4th, Connor Ross in 5th. How about Chatham's run up 16 spots tonight? But round number 2 goes to Anthony Morano. It is a 4-point lead unofficially for Salas. Headed into championship night next week. Chatham with a 4th place finish, so he loses. Just making sure I got my math right. It was 15 coming in, so he lost 6 points, so he's 21 back on Isaac Salas. But your winner tonight, the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, takes it in round 2 and another thrilling finish over his close rival for the championship. Pull up the results here from this evening. Just under 0.2 of a second the margin of victory. Again, brought up Gavin Chatham, your biggest mover of the race. Nice runs as well from Vitali and Grandy up through the field. Jake Henry in 11th, started 22nd, finishes 11th. A great run for him. See Bud Molyneux started last, getting the final spot in. Finishes in 17th. Then the rest of the field. And we are ready to go with your top 3 finishers. And we'll begin with our 3rd place finisher, Dean Reynolds. Dino, you probably had the best view of anyone watching that finish, that's for sure.
Yeah, I did something a little out of my comfort zone. I saw Gavin coming up in the relative, and I said, "Oh shit, Gavin's got to be running that bottom because he found that bottom down in the B main there." And I said, "You know what, Anthony and Isaac, let me see if they stay up top of 1 and 2. The 3 and 4 are definitely the bottom was the way to go. 1 and 2 is still faster up top." I said, "Maybe you can grip." And maybe I can get underneath him coming off 2, get lucky, and maybe he could do something going into 3. But not enough, but it was enough to stay third. I mean, if I stayed up top, it would have stayed third. And there, when you got the best 2 in coast to coast in front of you, you just got to hope to get into each other. That's about all.
Absolutely. How'd you feel about your race car, though, throughout the night?
Oh, the Swanee set was very good. It was funny. We all ran the base set. Every one of us in the Discord ran the Swanee base because it feels good at Knoxville, and we all just tweaked the gears of what was comfortable for us. And we ran it, and it just worked out perfect. So, I mean, I don't know what Isaac had in his set. I know he does a lot of Swanee sets, but we had a good one.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Well, we got to thank the guys from Full Throttle Motorsports. We had a lot of fun in that race. Everyone had some good runs. Gavin got the hard charger, I believe, and Sam was really good in that one there. And, congratulations to Anthony for winning. And, and props to Isaac for winning, for running the Bill Calder paint scheme. That was cool. So, Full Throttle Motorsports. Thanks to the guys from Team Venom back in the day when they hung out in their Discord. A lot of fun, and we have a lot of fun racing with Isaac and Trevor and the gang. Thanks to you, Marty, for welcome back, and good to hear your voice. We miss you on Thursdays, but Shaggy's doing one hell of a job on Thursday. Regency Home Inspections, got to thank them because if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here on Monday. So we got to thank them, and hopefully Megan's working, so hopefully she'll watch the replay. My dad is probably watching, so I got to thank him. And hey, good solid podium. I'll take it, and we'll be happy with that.
Absolutely, man. Well, great job. Congratulations. We'll see you in Renegades.
Sounds good, Marty. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you later.
All righty, Dean Reynolds, our third place finisher. Let's go to our second place finisher, Isaac Salas. Isaac, that was a heck of a battle. What more did you need for Anthony?
I don't know. The top of 3 and 4 to finally come in, so it could be a little bit of multi-groove, I guess, in 3 and 4.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was tough to see. I saw you exploring options. Like, it looked like you had a better car than Morano tonight in the end. It was just tough to get around him.
Yeah, and that's perfect defense, honestly. Running where you need to exactly be at for 1 and 2. I was able to get almost to the outside of him in 1 and 2 on like 2 or 3 spots there. But he just got just that good of enough a run to stay in front of me, and bottom was the place to be in 3 and 4, so it was kind of just, hopefully he makes a mistake, and knowing who it is, it probably wasn't going to happen. So yeah, I tried to do bottom 1 and 2, like twice there towards the end, and I got close, but no cigar, so I'll take it.
The final laps looked a little bit similar to Lernerville. I think the biggest difference in all of that was, there was no contact. You kept it clean. That was most important.
Yeah, for sure, and a little bit of it comes back to just kind of how these last few weeks have played out, and knowing that I need to make sure that I was on my game. I knew he'd be on his game, if I'm being honest. And you can ask Morano. I look up to him as a perfectionist basically on the track. So I knew that I had to be on my game and just hit all my marks. And if I could be perfect, then he'd give me maybe one chance here or there. And but that's all it was about. It's just, good sportsmanship, and I really respect Morano a lot.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Yeah, big shout-out to Venom Racing, Dean the Super Dirt Car Series. I bet he's all happy to see, 2 of his boys go head-to-head again. Magnum Race Designs, Tommy Gun Customs. I should say Magnum Race Designs with his paint scheme as well for Mr. Bill, Bill Calder, thinking about you, buddy. Sometimes it's not great to broadcast everything on the internet here, but, sometimes when you can share good causes and know that people know, let people think, let people know that you're thinking about them during some of their hard times. I think it truly means a lot. And, I was fighting to get that victory for, both him and I, for sure. But yeah, JRB Designs, RSN Trackside, Mission 22, Top Notch Truck with Gramps, Shaggy TV, Regency Home Inspections for the sponsorship as well, to the division, Coast to Coast. Thank you for the broadcast, Marty. You do a great job. Gotta see if anyone's sticking around. Maybe I'll come be a booth boy. Who knows?
Yeah, come on by.
I know. Mom, Dad for watching. Gramps for watching. I saw in the comments. So hi, Gramps. And then like Kelser for watching out at work. Hope ready for her to be home. And on that, just some other of my friends and family that watch and support.
Alrighty, well, great job tonight. Best of luck in Rebels in just a little bit.
Awesome. I appreciate you, buddy.
Alrighty, Isaac Salas finishes second, but let's go to Victory Lane. Talk to your winner, Anthony Morano. Anthony, a great performance. But this time you won the rematch. How's that feel?
Pretty good. I'm still hunting down the points here to beat Isaac for the Open 358, so every point counts right now.
I want to get to that in a moment. I believe unofficially it would be 4 going into championship night, but let's talk about this run regardless, though. It was pretty much all about having a really good heat battle. Sorry. Having a really good heat battle at the end. I was watching something pretty funny on my phone.
Yeah, it was a lot to do with gearing and being able to keep your momentum up pretty much from the drop of the green in practice. So I was just playing around with gear a lot. Yeah, really, I'm not real comfortable running the top, especially in 1 and 2, but I knew if I wasn't up there, Isaac was just going to blow my doors off sooner or later. So just doing that, and 3 and 4, I'm always real good on the bottom. So just going down there, protecting that line, and end up paying off at the end of the night.
Where did you feel you were probably better than Isaac tonight?
Probably the bottom 3 and 4.
All right. Well, what do you expect going into Charlotte next week, man?
I know I'm pretty sure we ran Charlotte Open setup already this season, and we put on a pretty good show. I ran around the bottom, and he ran around the top. So hopefully it's as good as it was then, and it'll come down to the final laps, and we'll see how that goes.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
First, I want to say hi to Bill Calder. I know he's a bit under the weather right now. Hopefully he can get back out here soon racing with us. Gotta thank my wife Sherry, the boys over at FTM, Dean with Super Dirt Car, Logan at High Mom Lens, Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Expert Installation, Castleberry Flagstone, MDI TV, and GripHack.com. And you for doing a broadcast, and everyone here at Coast to Coast and Regency Home Inspections.
Alrighty, man. Well, great job. Congratulations. And we'll see what happens next week, man.
All right, Marty. Thanks a lot, buddy.
That's Anthony Morano. The Magic Ant-Man takes the checkered flag, I believe his 4th win of the season. Let me double check. Yep, nope, 3rd win of the 2024 fall season. Well, when we come back, it is Rebels action. Time for our B division right here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. it's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion. Trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Right when we talked about it.
Outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We're back here as Rebels qualifying is just wrapped up. Donovan Ross, your pole position at a 1586. I believe we've got 2, if not 3 heats for you this evening. Let's just confirm here per iRacing. And we do have 3 heats this evening. Heat race number 1 is brought to you by Gambler Motorsports. Here's the starting lineup. As Randy Treves is on the pole in the 56, next to him, the Goose, Chad Cote, in car number 11. Row number 2, Shaggy, Zach Chapman in the 72. Next to Devo, Donovan Ross in car number 5. Row number 3, the Moose, Jake Musso in the 44, and Greg Parmalee in the 4. Final car on the grid, you've got Joseph Granny, the 518. Why can't we just have 8 cars and have the 44 and the 4 on row number 4? See where I'm going at that? Just saying. Just saying. So. There he is. Butters is finally here. Took you so long, man. Took you that long, man, to finally get into the chat. Winner starts on pole tonight for our 30-lap feature. Everybody makes it into the show, and I believe we'll go one extra lap here, and that is the case. Five-point lead in the championship between Brandon Dittmer and Brian Moore Jr. 5:43 to 5:38 coming on in.
Green, green.
Green flag waves, here we go with Rebels action. Quick start off the corner as Chad Cote has the edge. Randy Shreves, though, sends it deep, trying to hang on to second on Donovan Ross. Lap number 1 at the line, led by Chad Cote, and Devo's got control of the second spot. Now Ross tries deep on Chad Cote for the lead and for the pole position. We're all pretty much single filed out. Best battle on track. Jake Musso, Greg Parmalee for 6th. Musso trying to move his way up to the spot. And he's got it for now. Grandy underneath on Shreves for 4th. Can't make that pass work. So you got a 4-car battle for 4th, while the top 3 have really broken out. Chapman, Ross, and Cote, each running their own pace at the moment. Already we're halfway home here in Heat 1, 4 up and 4 down. Here comes Grandy for that 4th spot. Again, everyone in. We do not have 4 heats this evening. Grandy, oh, that's tight with Randy Shreves, but gives the 56 a lane to work. Final lap is underway. It's been a dominant heat race for the Goose. Chad Cote started second, had the high side, took advantage of it. 3/4 of a second lead on Donovan Ross as we come to the checkered flag. The Goose wins Heat 1 and is on the pole. Cote wins. Ross 2nd, Chapman 3rd, Jake Musso 4th, Parmalee 5th, Grandy 6th, and Shreves 7th. We now move on to Heat 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspection, proud partner of the Open 358s. Brian Lawson and the entire Venom Racing team. The Bass Man on the pole, Roger Craig of the 747. Next to him, it's Brian Moore Sr. in the 883. Row number 2, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83, and Isaac Salas Slide Job in the 5. Row number 3, Joe Musso in the 00, and Mike Kramer in the 70. Rounding out the grid here tonight, Bob Curtis in the 012. Roger's got a great paint scheme as well. Obviously, we're dedicating this week to our buddy Bill Calder, one of the co-founders of Coast to Coast. But also, it is Autism Awareness Night. Of course, many people on the autism spectrum. One in 36 children in the U.S. have autism, up from the previous rate of 1 in 44. More info on it, go to autismspeaks.org.
Green, green, green.
Set for the green flag. Heat 2 underway. 3 wide for the race lead. The points leader, Brandon Dittmer, trying to waste time here. Trying not to waste time on Brian Moore Sr. Big slider already. took the risk there. Brian Moore Sr. counters it back as Senior leads lap 1. Craig looking downstairs for that second spot. Can't get that to work for right now. So a really good race for 4th. Mike Cranmer, Joe Musso, Isaac Salas. Remember, Salas had to start from the back and is having a tough time making his way up. Man, look at the defense Mike Cranmer's playing on him. Just shut the door. And Isaac's like, you know what? I'm going to slide job you. I don't care. And Mike's trying everything to counter it back. I don't think he'll have a chance at it in 1 and 2, but Salas clips the wall there. Not going to do him any good, and it won't do him any good there if he gets into Mike Cranmer. Around go both of them. Well, that's not going to work, that's for sure. Dittmer, meanwhile, trying everything to get the lead from Brian Moore Sr. He's the quickest car on track at a 16:09. But he's got 3 laps to try and start on the front row, or else that's going to Brian Moore Sr. Nearly biked it there in turn 1. That last time by, Moore Sr. picked up 3/10. Two laps to go. Isaac Salas has made his way past Bob Curtis up to 5th. Craig and Joe Musso battle for 3rd. Of course, as this race we're focused on, Dittmer up in the dust. Final lap underway here in Heat 2. And again, you want to start on the outside of the front row to have the best chance at it. Brian Moore Sr. out in front. Dittmer gives it one final shot. See Diamonds turns 3 and 4. It's Brian Moore Sr. that picks up the win in Heat 2. Dittmer 2nd, Craig 3rd, Musso 4th, Salas 5th, Curtis in 6th, Mike Cranmer across the line in 7th. Alrighty, we move on to heat race number 3, brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. And the Generals on the pole, Andy Patton in the 87. Next to him, Cale Bixler in the 789. Row number 2, Brian Moore Jr. in the 09. And Soupy Dan McLaren in car number 88. Row number 3, the captain, Gary Taylor in the 34. And Steve Maurer in the 888. As we get set to go green, a reminder to let us know who you are rooting for. In the chat, we'll give you a shout out live and on the air as always.
Green flag, green flag.
Here we come to the green, heat 3 underway. Patton, your race leader. Moore Jr. now underneath, trying to take advantage of Dittmer finishing 2nd in heat race number 2. He would have the advantage by 2 spots going into the feature tonight. As he battles Dan McLaren for the 2 spot. Your top 2 keeper up top. Moore Jr. trying to test the bottom and see if that works out. Patton hanging on. That's the guy who started on the pole. But now Moore Jr. underneath. He's got both of them cleared. And Moore Jr. is out in front at Knoxville. That would be a huge heat. If he can do it, McLaren. Oh, he caught the berm. What a save! Oh my goodness, Dan McLaren. What a catch. Here is a look at the replay on a close call for Soupy Dan McLaren. Look at that. Listen, the same thing I said earlier. That car was wrecked. But he still has a chance to grab third from Cale Bixler. And the two even close it in on Andy Patton for second. On board with Dan McLaren. Underneath he goes. Battle for third. No berm catch this time. Look out for Andy Patton, though. Set in way too strong where he didn't even realize he was catching up on the 87. Patton flips it. Does a wheelie. Gary Taylor catches him. 360s it around. Does another wheelie. And somehow that car is still going. If that can make it around for one more lap, I'll be damned. Brian Moore Jr., meanwhile, the Heat 3 winner. Big Heat win for him as he'll start third to Brandon Dittmer's fifth. Cale Bixler second, a great starting spot for him. Steve Maurer third. Andy Patton was able to complete one lap around and finish fourth. Absolutely amazing. Taylor fifth, and Dan McLaren in the end finishes sixth. Even Taylor drove that thing around with a hard impact. All right, step away here from warm-ups. When we come back, featured time on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Warm-ups here continuing on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Here's a look up top from Knoxville. Joseph Grandy the quickest, 16.364. Isaac Salas second, 16.40. Brian Moore Sr. third, 16.41. Dan McLaren fourth, 16.53. Donovan Ross fifth, 16.56. You saw the rib shack there. Great place for barbecue. Maybe if I go to Knoxville this year and my schedule allows it, well, there will be a couple of trips there, that's for sure. You saw the cushion cam up in turn number 2. That will be filled up when we get to feature time later on for Renegades. So as the checkers wave here on warm-ups. Guess we are ready to go racing. And that's the case. Let's meet the field and get you your RSN trackside starting lineup. On the pole, the Goose, Chad Cote in the 11. Next to him, Brian Moore Sr. in the 8.558. Row number 2, Brian Moore Jr. in the 09 and Donovan Ross Devo in the 5. Row number 3, Brandon Dittmer, the Spider Monkey in the 83, and Kale Bixler in the 789. Row number 4, Shaggy Zach Chapman in the 72, and the Bass Man, Roger Craig in the 747. Rounding out the top 10, Steve Maurer in the 888, and Jake Musso in the 44. Row number 6, Joe Musso in the 00, and the General Andy Patton in the 87. Row 7, it's Greg Parmalee in the 4, and Slide Job Isaac Salas in the 5. Row number 8, the Captain Gary Taylor in the 34, and 100 Grand Joseph Grandy in the 518. Row number 9, Bob Curtis in the 012, and Dan McLaren in the 88. And actually, he does not make the call to grid. Final row, though, tonight, Randy Shrews in the 56, and Mike Cranmer in the 70. Believe McLaren will take the green flag. Believe he'll be in the pits when the green flag flies, so eventually we'll see McLaren out there. So we are just about set for the Flatline Racing Bodies green flag here. 30 laps, top 5 drivers, pending on IL, will transfer up to Renegades this evening if they want to. Second time tonight that it's time to shake and bake. Steve King, Foundation Pace Truck on pit road. Chad Cote, Brian Moore Sr. bring us to the green flag at the sprint car capital of the world. It's time to get it on. Three wide for the race lead. Brian Moore Jr. in the battle for the championship. Wasting no time, gathers the Kmart 2-for-1 discount. And so the Moores are 1-2. Cote 3rd, Bixler 4th. Donovan Ross has dropped down to 6th. Meanwhile, Dan McLaren back on the track, but he is 1 lap down. Not the best time to start from the pits. When you're in the back and pit road is pretty long. Dittmer in 5th. Now let's remind you all of how the standings look going into today with the drops in effect. Dittmer by 5 points on Brian Moore Jr. Right now, we would have a new points leader going into the weekend at Charlotte. Some other races on track. Zach Chapman challenging Donovan Ross. That's the race for 6th. This is Devo's home race as well. He loves Dingus. Love to put that car on the podium tonight. Chapman's kept that car in 7th from the drop of the green flag. So he shuts the door there on Shaggy. You saw as well Dan McLaren trying to get past Brandon Dittmer. He's got a couple of races he's got to go through. First, he's got to get his way. First, he's hoping for no yellow. Second, I should just shut up whenever I talk about Dan from now on. I should just shut up. Sorry, Dan. Steve Maurer, Joe Musso are the reason for the first yellow flag. Here's a look. They just got to get it. Ooh, big impact for Steve Maurer. Mike Kramer may have got a piece of that as well. And let me tell you something. Knoxville has not treated Steve Maurer friendly. Off the track, they treat him friendly when he's in the stands. But when he's driving on the virtual track, it does not treat him well. Here's the onboard with Joe Musso. Oh, that was net code. The tires did not even touch one bit. You see Mike gather a piece of that as well. Left front broken on the 00. Well, I'm sorry, Dan, but you got to drop to the back. First yellow just came out moments ago. Let's reset the field. Brian Moore Jr. is leading with Brian Moore Sr. in row number 1. Row number 2, Chad Cote and Cale Bixler. Row 3, Brandon Dittmer and Donovan Ross. Make sure they're updated. Yep. Row number 4, Zach Chapman, Joseph Grandy. Rounding out the top 10, Jake Musso and Andy Patton. Keep an eye out on Grandy. Already up 8 spots. Started 16th, and it's only lap number 7. Back to green.
Green, green, green.
Moore Jr. able to hold serve. Look out, mid-pack. Grandy lost some time there. Meanwhile, here comes Dittmer. Moves up to second past Brian Moore Sr. And now your top 2 in the championship going after the lead. Now did Dittmer get second at the line's the question. I think he did. As we're under our second caution, Mike Cranmer has flipped it. Somebody's lost a wheel, meanwhile, on the other hand. I don't know if it's Mike's or not. We'll have to see. Let's go to replay. Ooh, contact between Parmalee and McLaren. Gary Taylor rams the back of Cranmer. Ooh, and then Maurer gets it, so it was Maurer that lost the right front. That was a heavy impact where top wing went away from the 70. And Dimmer did the same thing, caught the berm again. Or McLaren correction. So Mike has a quick repair. I think we want him on the lead lap here. So he got back on the pit road, used a quick repair, and yeah, that is the case. And everyone else is slowed up waiting for the Steve King Foundation pace truck. That pass was big there for Brandon Dittmer to move up to second. Past Brian Moore Sr. as he would have a 2-point buffer going into Charlotte. But now it sounds like he's being asked to move back. Oh, that is a heartbreak. About to have second, the yellow flew before he crossed the line. That is what they are saying. Single file restart. And there was a big gap between junior and senior. I'm not too sure why. But regardless, we are back to green. Here comes Cale Bixler low on Chad Cote for third. Dittmer had to left for just a moment. Here comes Zach Chapman underneath. And now moves Shaggy up to fifth. It's amazing what's happened with Dittmer since this last yellow flag. Right now, Junior's got the points lead. Grandy gets a little bit sideways in the background. Now the Spider Monkey's down a couple spots. Junior leads by 1.3 seconds. Chad Cote looking to take away third from Cale. And what a run the 789's having. Normally we see him as a back marker in these types of races. But let's remember, he took advantage of what happened in that incident. It was McLaren, Taylor, a bunch of others. Patton got a good finish out of it. Started sixth. And now he's in third. 12 laps complete. Dittmer hanging on to fifth. Can he defend it over his fellow booth boy? Oh no, Dittmer up on the wall, rode it for just a moment. Finds a way to keep her going for right now. Trying to get you some other action on the track. Andy Patton, Roger Craig in the back. Oh, do we have someone losing? Oh, that was Senior! Brian Moore Sr. Oh, Grandy! Cote! And another car, I think that was Solis, and Patton runs into Grandy hard. We have a junkyard on the entire front straight. It all started with Brian Moore Sr. I don't know how, though. This, though, you're about to see is not because of the accident. Oh, it may be, actually. This is Steve Maurer. Pulls it off. Yeah, I didn't have anything to do with that. And then watch Senior. He biked it in turn 4. Around he went. Catches Cote. And then who catches Granny. There's Solace. Bad accident. That's for sure. Let's go on board with the Goose. Yep, just biked it simply. Loses second. Cote with absolutely nowhere to go. A lot of good cars taken out in this one. Isaac Salas, who was making a charge from the back to the front. And he was already biking it, rolled the wall in turns 3 and 4. Lost control and got into another car. So that was pretty much a separate accident. Here's Joseph Grandy. Thought he had a miss, then Cote came down into him. And Patton comes in now. I don't know if he hit anything that caused him to lose his steering, or if he just chose the wrong lane that he committed to. He's good, he's good. Yeah, I didn't have enough reaction time to yank that thing hard to the bottom. So that helps out Brandon Dittmer a little bit. He moves up to 3rd. And right now it'd be Moore Jr. by 1 going into Charlotte. In that case, would pretty much be a winner-take-all situation. We're back to green. Moore Jr. continues to lead. He holds serve. We're halfway home once again. 15 up and 15 down. Big trouble. Zach Chapman is around and upside down. That lap will have to count, and that is, I believe, Bob Curtis. No, that's Roger Craig involved. That's a tough break for Shaggy. He's resting the voice up tonight. Just got into Donovan Ross. There's Craig with nowhere to go. A very bad flip for Chapman. On board with the Bassman. Got a really good view of Devo and Chapman colliding. Nowhere to go. Now let's go back on board with Shags. Should be 1 to green this time by. Next time we'll have the restart. We will watch from the Steve King Foundation, sorry, the Chapman Racing drone. So here's how the field looks as we stack them up once again. Brian Moore Jr., the leader. Cale Bixler, 2nd. Brandon Dittmer, 3rd. Randy Shreves up 15 spots to 4th. Donovan Ross, 5th. Jake Musso, 6th. Joe Musso, 7th. Greg Parmalee, 8th. Mike Kramer, 9th. Brian Moore Sr. rounds out the top 10. We're back to green.
Green flag, green flag.
And already Dittmer may have lost 3rd there to Randy Shreves. Dittmer gets caught up because of Cale Bixler. Can the Spider Monkey grab 2nd from the 789? Randy Shreves has a chance at third here. He may have a chance at 2 going to the corner. But no. Dittmer underneath. And it's a 4-car battle for the second spot. They both split the 789. Dittmer's got second. Will Shreves get a great corner exit here? And that's not the case, and the glass slipper did not fit for Cale, who would have been looking at probably his best ever finish in coast-to-coast action. Devo in 5th, bikes in turns 3. Hang on there, Donovan. He's on the drinks a little bit too early. Race for 3rd, Bixler and Shreves. As they're off of turn number 4. 10 laps to go for Brian Moore Jr., who's dominated this one. 1.2 second advantage on Brandon Dittmer at the moment. Right now it would be Dittmer by 2 going to the weekend. Cale Bixler, though, fighting back on Randy Shreves for 3rd. A great pass from the 789. And now Shreves fights back. Oh, they touch it to 1. I think Cale may have let Randy go. I'm not too sure. But now Cale's got some catching up to do if he wants back on the podium. Meanwhile, Brian Moore Sr. trying to regain some spots after he biked it in 3 and 4. That forced him to use a quick repair. He's up to 6th. He's found his way past Donovan Ross. 8 laps remain. Caution flag is back out. And it's for Mike Kramer in the 70, and that may bite him there. That may be it for the night, as he had already used the quick repair. Racing with Gary Taylor and Joseph Grandy. Ooh, Taylor and Kramer just about touched, broke the steering axle. And out she went. Right there. You know, I want to show you something on replay. You will know when you see that left front brake. You see, it's all hopping up and down, but then there's the contact, and you see that suspension bar just stop. That's how you know it's broken. Now, the driver can't see it. How will the driver know when that car goes up the hill and it's got that car steering hard to the left? Lights are off, coming to green next time by. 7 laps to go. Green flag back out. Junior holds serve. Dittmer still right there. So we're coming to 6 laps to go. Some good racing between Jake Mooser and Cale Bixler in the back. Trouble, Greg Parmalee and Gary Taylor have gotten together. And the caution flag flies again. Parmalee upside down, as cautions are breeding cautions. Chapman's underneath 3 wide. That wasn't a factor, though. Parmalee just gets the Chad Cote. Nice save for the... Ooh! Gary takes a lick up in the air. But Parmalee pays the price as he lands on his noggin. tried to find a way to escape danger. But then that lane thinned out to the point where he had nowhere to go and just hang on. Time for the restart once again. A 5-lap shootout. Moore Jr., Dittmer, or the field. They've been the dominant 2 drivers all day, and they will battle for the championship next week at Charlotte. Here we go.
Green flag.
Great restart from Brian Moore Jr. Turns 4, but hangs on to it. If Shreves takes away second, that would give Moore Jr. the points lead unofficially. 4 laps to go. Dittmer trying to have the 2-point advantage. Shreves trying to give Brian Moore Jr. a 1-point advantage. 3 laps to go. Shreves is up to P2. He started, remember, back in 19th tonight. And can look for the win here. Moore Jr. goes up the hill. Now Dittmer wants to see Shreves take the win. What a win for the ages this would be for Randy Shreves if he can get it done. There's only 2 laps remaining, though, and Brian Moore Jr. is pulling away. Now here comes Moore Sr. for a podium spot on Dittmer. Now the 83 is just trying to hang on. Shreves in the back of Moore Jr. Sideways, the 56 looking for the race lead. Top shelf for Mama hides the cookies. Shreves to the point with 1 to go. It's not over yet. Battle for the win. Battle for third. Shreves has Moore Jr. clear. The 09 sends it deep. Here they come off for turn number 4. Randy Shreves from 19th to victory. Oh my goodness. Moore Jr. second. Dittmer finishes third. That gives the Spider Monkey a 2-point lead going into Charlotte next week unofficially. Moore Sr. fourth, and how about Cale Bixler with a 5th place finish? But oh my, Randy Shreves from 19th to the win. Man, I am looking forward to that interview, that's for sure. So here's a look at the results. Shreves the winner, Moore Jr. second, Dittmer third. Give credit to Brian Moore Sr. coming back to finish 4th. Nearly got Brandon Dittmer for the podium. That would have been big for Jr. Would have been up, I believe, 2. If not, I believe maybe 4. Or 1 by 1, if not maybe tied. I don't know. I got to look. I think it would be by 1 still. Cale Bixler, best finish of the year without question in 5th. Jake and Joe Musso each up 3 spots tonight. Heartbreak of the night probably would have to go to Isaac Salas. This was making a pretty good charge up through the field. So we'll begin with our interviews, and we'll start with Brandon Dittmer. Brandon, I got a feeling you're thinking inside that car first off when Randy Shreves is passing you for a second. You're thinking, that's not what I wanted. But then when he gets Moore Jr. for the win, that's what he wanted, because right now, unofficially, you have a 2-point lead going to Charlotte next weekend.
I have a 2-point lead?
Unofficially, right, with the drops in effect.
Okay, I knew I was trailing Junior. I don't know really when I got random. But yeah, it was an interesting race. Every time I kind of passed somebody, a caution would come out, and then I had to go back. Especially now that last caution, I was past the junior for the lead, and the caution came out. But sometimes it's just how it goes. Try to read them if I can, and take, try to get them again. But unfortunately, it's not the case this time.
Just a heads up, your mic is like really, really bad. I don't know if.
Yeah, my headset mic, for whatever reason, stopped working in the middle of the race, so I had to switch to this one because my other one isn't hooked up.
Gotcha. All right. Well, nevertheless, though, a great run for you as a whole. How'd you feel about it?
I felt pretty good. Car was really good on the bottom. I really wish I could have taken advantage of a couple mistakes from the drivers a little more, but we'll take what we can get, and hopefully, we give myself a chance going into Charlotte next week.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
You, the broadcast, Roger Coast to Coast, Dean House and Supercar Series for the sponsor, Training Levels Racing, all the guys for additional Venom, for the hanging out with them. Where's my freaking notebook? Bowman is there for the amazing lap, and sponsors for making all this happen, and of course, let's some prayers go out to Bill Calder.
Appreciate it, man. Great job tonight, and best of luck next week.
I'll actually be joining y'all tonight.
What's up?
I'll be joining y'all on Renegades.
All right, sounds good. Awesome. We'll see you there.
All right, sounds good.
So Brandon Dittmer, our third place finisher. Let's go to Brian Moore Jr. Oh, man, that's got to be heartbreaking. They're dominating the race, and then Randy Shreves comes out of nowhere.
Yes, sir. That hurts.
Did you think that he had fresher tires than you, or go ahead?
Yeah, I knew the top would come in. I knew that I didn't know how many people were running the bottom, but I knew that it would only last so long. And it seemed like 1 and 2 was working good on the bottom to start with, and then 3 and 4 really came in, and it was a strong end to be on. And on the one restart, when I thought I might build my momentum around the top one time, who was that? Was that Dittmer? Went from third to
Dittmer made his way up to second. Yeah,
me. And then we got saved by the caution.
Yep. That was. And then he fell back because of that restart, I believe.
Oh, well, he came back up somewhere, didn't he?
Yep, he finished third.
Yes, sir. All right.
So, but how do you feel going into Charlotte next weekend? I got to ask you that. I believe right now, unofficially, with the drops in effect, it would be you down by 2.
I mean, I couldn't probably convince you that right now, but big tracks are not my forte. I'm better. I shine better on small tracks. I mean, like even the big track here, I'm running the bottom, so maybe there's something to that there. But Charlotte, once again, not one of my better tracks, but I mean, I just show up and honestly, I shoot for the top 5. I shoot to make it into the Renegades, and I try to just keep my calm and not put the pressure on too much when I don't need to, and hopefully finish with 0 incidences and see if we can come close to a championship here.
Who do you want to give shout outs to?
I want to say Bill Calder. Yeah. I can't wait to get him back out here. I heard he's out right now, so I want to holler at him for sure. And Rick and Rona, sorry I missed you last week, but I'm calling you out this week. Andy and Jairus, my buddies who are always watching. And you guys for sure. We couldn't be here and doing it without you. You guys make it a lot of fun.
All righty. Well, great job tonight. Best of luck in Renegades if you move up. If not, we'll see you next week.
All righty.
Brian Moore Jr. finishing second. And now we go to Victory Lane, where we all have to bow to Randy Shreves, 19th to 1st. Where in the world did that come from?
Man, I don't know. I was running a setup that I was kind of iffy about, and probably last 5-7 laps, and yeah, it just felt really good there at the end, and I'm glad I found that top when I did, and unhappy that I got into Brian there. I didn't mean to. We kind of did the same exact move at the same exact time, and just bad timing. And glad we both made it out of that okay. And then next restart, I just stuck with that top and pulled it off.
Yeah, take me through it at the end. Were you saving tires as well early in the race, possibly?
Actually, I was just kind of holding on for dear life because I got into, I believe it was like the second caution, and I had some rear end damage. I probably should have pitted, but I really didn't want to give up the track position, so I just stuck it out and just felt the car out, and glad it came back there at the end.
What point in the race did you really feel good that you had your groove, had your momentum?
I want to say probably with 5 to go. I just kind of felt. I don't know. I was coming on that top, and Brian, I knew he was just comfortable down there on the bottom. And late race, you really don't ever want to change your line. And yeah, he stuck with the bottom, and I stuck with the top, and just pulled that thing off.
Alrighty, man. Well, I know you're gonna enjoy this one. But first you got Renegades, obviously. But who do you want to give shout-outs to?
For sure, I want to thank everybody at Coast to Coast for everything they do. You for the broadcast, you do awesome every week. KSB Builders, Dylan Shreve's Designs for painting my car. And I also want to give a shout out to Bill Calder, man. We're all praying for you. Hope to see you back here soon, man.
Alrighty, man. Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on the win. Enjoy this one. That's probably one of your best wins of your career, coming out clutch like that.
Yeah, pretty awesome, man. Thank you.
Randy Shreves takes the win, and want to make an update. Patrick Spangler just confirmed this in the chat, actually. Unofficially, with the drops, 4-point lead for Brian Moore Jr. headed to Charlotte. Again, that's taking the top 10 of 12 races in the books. So 1 race to go. That is at the dirt track at Charlotte. Step aside and go to break. When we come back, Renegades action on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Gets on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
these dollars had come together to support us, and we realized no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We are back here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. The sun has set, and we are just about ready to go here for the Renegades. Marcus Calla with you here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. When we go to the points here with 2 races left to go, obviously it's been a dominant season for Patrick Spangler. But Chad Griggs, though, closed the gap last week with his win. Spangler comes in with a 33-point advantage on Griggs. Will be tough, though, for the driver of the 227 to get the championship. But there is a possibility, though, it could. We'll have to hope for a mistake-full night for the high side banger. Let's go to the practice speeds right now as things look. And Griggs is the quickest, 14.906. Look at that, 2/10 better than Stephen Goldner, Jack Clevenger, Terry Landis, and Bob DeGood. Of course, a lot of people have been in before we've gotten into race mode, of course. So Steve Bixler checking in, and Kale is racing in Steve's rig. So Bixler has opted to step out for the night and root for Sarge. Brennan Lacey in check. Good to see the low line master this evening as he's rooting for Stephen Goldner. So qualifying is underway. First driver will get onto the racetrack. Let's see, who is it going to be? We'll watch Cale Bixler in the 789. We'll check the car count here once qualifying wraps up. Lap 1 is underway for Cale. So Cale will set the bar here. Quickest in Sector 2, 16:43. But here come the quick laps. Jack hit 16:37. Stephen Goldner goes quick time, 16:24 for the driver, the number 30. Jeff Barker second, 16:34. Barker makes his way through turns number 3 and 4. Does he have a better lap inside him? And the answer is no. 16:49. Blake Chapman second on lap 1, 16:22.50. Chad Griggs, though, quick time at a 15:9.96 as Blake Chapman goes up to second. He's at a 16:006. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Did I get that right? No, 16:096. I'm sorry. I could get my decibels right all along. 21 drivers with us. Jesse Bandy up to fourth on lap 2, 16:34. Jack Clevenger slower on lap number 2. Qualifying has wrapped up. 3 heats this evening. Griggs is the quickest in qualifying. And so with that, that'll put Dean Reynolds, Jack Clevenger, Tyler Wilson as your pole sitters for each of the 3 heats. Heat 1 brought to you by Gambler Motorsports, and here is how they line up. Dean Reynolds on the pole in the 79. Next to him, it's Randy Shreves in car number 56. Row number 2, the Bandy-Built Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49, and Chad Griggs in the 27. Row number 3, Cale Bixler in the 789, and next to him, that is Brian Moore Sr. in the 558. Final car on the grid, Canada Connor Ross, the 35. Let's know who you're rooting for in the chat. And as always, we'll give you a shout out live and on the air. Renegades are set for 35 laps this evening. Chad's got a very fast race car tonight, that's for sure. It's going to take a lot if he wants a chance at it, and tonight would be the start. Should be one lap here, then we'll go green. Pace car is in. We're wasting no time. Here we go. Winner on pole. Everybody transfers. Heat 1 is underway. Dino wasting no time, off to a good start. Shreves in second. Battle for third. Chad Griggs, Jesse Bandy. Griggs wasting no time. He's up to P3. Lap 1, though, led by Dean Reynolds. Everyone looking the high side for right now. That cushion cam will be clogged. Have to clean off the lens a lot tonight. And Griggs up to second. Next target, another purple and white machine. That's Dean Reynolds' car. Griggs got a little bit sideways in the center of 1 and 2, but he held on to it. Half a car length. Peeks it downstairs on Dean Reynolds. Rips it on the bottom. Look at him go. Chad Griggs up to the lead in 3 laps. 1 car per position, and now he can just drive away, put up the fastest lap. Take a look at these lap times he's ranked compared to Dino. 16:04 that last lap. He is a half second quicker than second place Dean Reynolds. Absolutely mind-boggling. It's all pretty much single file. Connor Ross trying to look low on Cale Bixler for 6th, but that's not working for him, unfortunately. Only driver that's lugging the low groove right now is Chad Griggs. Connor testing it, but not able to get it to work. She's now trying to send it on Dino, trying to see if he can close in for the 2 spot. Not really working though. Final lap underway. That last time by, Reynolds was 500 slower compared to Shreve. So it worked in a somewhat way. But it's all been Chad Griggs. The quick timer puts her on the pole for the feature. So Griggs wins, Reynolds second, Shreve's third, Bandy fourth, Moore fifth, Ross sixth, and Cale Bixler seventh. We now move on to Heat 2, brought to you by Regency Home Inspections. Jack Clevenger on the pole in the 78. Next to him, he's in the 325 this evening. The high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Row number 2, the Brewer to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and the salesman, Blake Chapman in the 20. Row number 3, Stephen Goldner in car number 36. That is an awesome new paint job he's got. Next to him, Brian Moore Jr. in the 09. The final car on the grid this evening, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis, the 161. So just about set to go into action here for Heat 2. Winner starts on the outside of the front row.
Green, green, green.
Green flag waves. Here we go. Good jump from Clevenger in that 75. Spangler looking to fight underneath. The high side banger wasting no time. There he goes through the race lead. Blake Chapman started fourth, already up to second. Could he go quicker than Chad Griggs? Instead, it's going to wait on it. Loses second to the 78 for right now. Up the hill, though, goes Jack. Here comes Blake Chapman. Brian Moore Jr., meanwhile, up a pair of spots. He's through to fourth. So great start for our Rebels points leader going into Charlotte. Chapman low on Clevenger, wheeling and dealing it. You can see it in the cockpit. And the salesman up to P2. Now can he close in on Patrick Spangler? The high side banger, though, 0.3 better last time by. Moore Jr. up the wall, nearly got Jeff Barker. Sideways was the 09. And a great save from him. So Barker keeps it in fourth spot. As we have 3 laps to go in Heat 2. Spangler up by 0.7 of a second. The lap times are just about even. And how about this? Bill Calder somewhere in Canada smiling right now, watching his 325 paint scheme look to take the checkered flag in a heat win. And Spangler would love to drive that baby to victory lane tonight. Final lap underway. Spangler making his way through 3 and 4. And the high side banger to the checkered flag. Gonna have a chance at a win tonight. Spangler starts third, a row behind his championship nemesis. Chapman second, Clevenger third, Barker fourth, Moore Jr. fifth, Goldner sixth, and Landis seventh. We'll step aside and go to break. When we come back, featured time of the coast. Oh, I'm sorry, it's one more heat race. I'm sorry. Heat 3 brought to you by Maurer Farm Management. And the starting lineup is Tyler Wilson, the Macho Man, on pole position, the 42. Next to him, Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Row 2, the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer in the 83, and Stephen Goldner in car number 30. Row 3, Bob DeGood in the 7, and the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson in the 127. And the final car on the grid tonight, Gavin Chatham in the 99. but I believe he is just watching as a spectator. Does not make the call to grid, neither does Jesse Atkinson. Scott Thomason approving of Chad Griggs' pole position spot tonight. Steve King Foundation pace truck on pit road. One more heat race left to go.
Green flag, green flag.
So the green flag waves as Tyler Wilson has the race lead on Jack Hitt. Golner third. He's already taken the spot away from Brandon Dittmer. Steven goes way deep. Almost gone to Tyler Wilson. Had to back out the throttle. Man, I don't know how Golner and Wilson did not go around. Somehow, each of them kept it straight. As here comes Wilson, trying to grab the lead. Actually, gentleman Jack Hitt has taken the race lead away, trying to pull away for the Macho Man. Everyone look at the high side. Chad Griggs made the bottom work. But will drivers during warm-ups decide to get the bomb to set in? It's the question. Wilson cuts up in front of Dittmer. The Spider Monkey with a diamond in turn 2. Up to second he goes. Wilson with the racing line on corner exit though. The Macho Man had second of the line, but with Dittmer down low, Steven Goldner's coming upstairs to live in the bed. Here comes Wilson for the race lead. Slide job. Tyler, the Macho Man to the point. Jack Hitt though on the counter back, and it's nearly 3 wide. Wilson again with a preferred line off for turn 2, and he's got it. Steven Goldner's rebounded. Through he goes to second. 2 laps remaining here in heat 3. Jack Hitt may be the odd man out. Was leading at one point. Now he's down to 4th. So that low side for right now, no man's land. But Steven Goldner nearly made it work there. Wing to wing into turn 1 with 1 to go. Slide job, Goldner. Wilson got the memo. Counters it back. Wilson descended deep into 3 and 4 without question. And that he does. Steven Goldner, though, able to cross over. Coming off for turn 4. Wilson takes the win in heat 3. Goldner second, Dittmer third, Hitt 4th to good 5th. A fun-filled heat race. Let's step aside and go to break. When we come back, showtime in the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Final warm-ups continuing. Chad Griggs the quickest, 16:55. Second, Patrick Spangler, 16:75. Blake Chapman third, 16:87. Randy Streets, Jesse Bandy each fourth, 16:88. So warm-ups are finished. And ladies and gentlemen, as we get set, thank you for choosing to spend your Monday night with us. Let's meet the field and give you your RSN Trackside starting lineup. For the penultimate race in Knoxville, on the pole, Chad Griggs in the 27. Next to him, it's the high side banger, Patrick Spangler in the 325. Row number 2, the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson in the 42, and Dean Reynolds in the 79. Row number 3, Blake Chapman, the Salesman in the 20, and Steven Goldner in the 30. Row 4, it's Randy Shreves in the 56, and Jack Clevenger in the 78. Rounding out the top 10, Brandon Dittmer, the Spider Monkey in the 83, and the Bandybuilt Master, Jesse Bandy in the 49. Row 6, the Bird to Beast, Jeff Barker in the 513, and Gentleman Jack Hitt in the 217. Row number 7, the Moors, Senior in the 558, Junior in the 09, and row 8, Bob DeGuy in the 7, and Connor Ross, Canada Connor in the 35. Row 9, Barry Goldner in the 36, and next to him is the Pink Panther, Jesse X in the 127. Row number 10, Cale Bixler in the 789, the Desert Demon, Terry Landis in the 161. And rounding out the grid tonight, that is it. No call for Gavin Chatham to grid this evening. Actually, Jesse Bandy is going to start from the pits from what I hear, and that is the case. Picks to win tonight. I am going to go with Patrick Spangler to win it for Bill. So here we go. 19 drivers, 20 drivers, 35 laps. Steve King Foundation Pace Truck is in the pits. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, from coast to coast? It's showtime in Knoxville. Through the fire and the flames we carry on. Patrick Spangler, slide job for the lead. Everybody biking in turns number 3 and 4, the motocross bumps. Starting to form its only lap 1 as Spangler leads the opening lap. Tyler Wilson, Blake Chapman doing business for the bottom step of the podium. See if Chapman can move up to P3. At the line, he can. Just edges out the Macho Man. 3 wide for 5th, Randy Shreves. Rebels winner from 19th to 1st. He had a good starting spot back in the 7th position. Looking to break into the top 5 here past Dean Reynolds. Reynolds, though, nearly bikes it in 3 and 4. I bet you this, there will be a yellow flag this evening. And it'll have to do from somebody biking it in 3 and 4, hitting those motocross bumps and just cartwheeling it next to the wall. Could be right here with Steven Goldner. Rides the wall, hangs onto it, nearly gets into Moore Senior. And a great save by him. Let's look up to the race for the lead. Spangler leads by 1/4 of a second on Chad Griggs. Blake Chapman rounding out the podium for right now. Steven Gollner facing a challenge from Brandon Dittmer. Gollner slides up, Dittmer counters. Ooh, the two nearly touch. That low line starting to come together from the looks of it from a bunch of drivers. 3 wide for the spot. Here comes Moore Sr. Looking to go 2 for 1. Meanwhile, Randy Shreves up to 5th. He has passed Dean Reynolds for the spot. Should give credit to Moore Sr. Should he get 8th here at the line or 7th at the line, he'll be up 6. Jesse Exon up 7 right now, and same with Terry Landis. Shreves wants more. Slide job of the Macho Man. And Randy Shreves is up 3 through to 4th as we work lap number 9. For the lead, Chad Griggs, high, wide, and handsome. The 27 puts her out front. Blake Chapman, quickest car on track last time by, at 16.96. A quick look at how Griggs made the pass for the lead. He actually did on the bottom side. Spangler, I don't know if he biked it off for turn 4, but a clean pass made by the 27 to move out in front. And Griggs has turned up the notch. 1 second lead on Spangler, and has put up the quickest lap of the race, the 16.7. Now let's remember what happened last week. Griggs was dominating at Lernerville. Then a yellow flag flew in the final laps. Guess who passed him? It was this man, Patrick Spangler. Griggs is hoping it does not happen 2 weeks in a row. That's for sure. 2 weeks ago, Griggs took advantage of Spangler not being in attendance, taking a checkered flag. Trying to get some other racing on track. Dean Reynolds, Brandon Dittmer, the Booth boys, battling for 7th. Atkinson up on the wall. Remember, he's on a good move so far. He started back in 18th, kind of similar to where Randy Shreves started, just a spot ahead. The Pink Panther up to 9th. Good race this wall in the back. Hill, Bixler, Jack Clevenger, Terry Landis racing for 12th. Can Axon get through to 8th? On board the Pink Panther. Slides up in front of Dittmer and takes away the spot. Next target, Dean Reynolds in 7th. Move to 5th, Steven Gollner, Tyler Wilson. Steven's got the spot at the line, but doesn't have the Macho Man cleared just yet. May have him off at turn 4. And that's the case. Gollner up to 5th. Griggs' lead is up to over 3 seconds as right now your leader is in lap traffic. First car he approached was Jack Hitt, puts him a lap down. Some other racing on the track. Randy Shreves past. That's Gollner up to Randy Shreves, I should say. Gollner's car has come to life. Can he get the 4th spot? I think he got him at the line there that last time by as Jack Hitts pulled the car off. He calls it a night. Will be tough, though, to catch the 3rd place car, Patrick Spangler. You can't even see him right now. 4 seconds in front is the 325. Was trying to get Blake Chapman for 2nd. Right now, we'll have to check. It would be 27, but of course all the points change throughout the night, so we'll have to see how things look. Shreves still trying to fight back. on Steven Goldner for that fourth position. Shreves, though, a little bit sideways off the corner. Look at this mess here in the battle for sixth. Dean Reynolds, Tyler Wilson, Jesse Exon, Brandon Dimmer. Look out, Wilson bikes it, and the wall he goes. The Macho Man upside down. And there's the first yellow of the night. Took us 22 laps, and there's our first yellow, and it was for somebody biking it. Just caught that hump, got sideways, catches the accident in the wall. Now look at that flip that 42 takes. And luckily nobody else got involved into this one. Look how much he was trying to hang on to that thing. And once he hit the wall, he knew he was done for. Luckily, Tyler can use a quick repair and get that car back out on track. So we're going to come back to green this time. Could possibly be our only double file restart of the night. We're going to watch this from our aerial shot.
Green, green, green.
Now we know Griggs is good on the long run. How is he on the short run tonight? I mean, in heat racing, though, he looked flawless, without question. Spangler hanging on to third. Could Steven Goldner break into the podium and get past Spangler? Can't there. Dean Reynolds, though, rounds out the top five. Here comes Blake Chapman. Test in the middle. We know how good he is at saving tires. Has he saved enough tires to try and go on the attack mode on Chad Griggs? Keeps the gap at 0.3 of a second. Meanwhile, for fifth, Dean Reynolds hanging on. Can Randy Shreves grab the position? And he can. So move Shreves up into P5. Next target, once again, is Steven Goldner for fourth. While you see in the background there, was cut off there by Steven Goldner. Chapman trying a different line. That 27's increased the lead. It's up to 0.7. We've got under 10 laps to go. Coming to 7 this time. Atkinson up to 6. He started 18th. Shreves trying for fourth. Goldner tried to slam the door, but Shreves was there. Goldner ripping the motocross bumps perfectly. As able to clear that 56 for now. Let's go to mid-pack here as Brian Moore Jr. bikes it for a moment. His car's been fading to Brandon Dittmer. And Moore Jr. Man, how he didn't flip that car there, I don't know. But of course, him and Dittmer will go at it for the Rebels title next week. Back to fourth. Shreves is through to the spot. Atkinson trying to get in this party as well. On board with Dean Reynolds. Let's go to the Pink Panther. Around the outside of Steven Goldner to take the fifth spot. And he cleared him. Great pass. Now he looks low. Slides up the track. And Shreves there. They're still wing to wing. 4 laps to go for Chad Griggs. The gap at 1.2 seconds on Blake Chapman. Patrick Spangler in third. Just trying to put that Bill Calder ride on the podium. But everyone has their eyes on this race for P4. Oh, some contact there. You saw the sparks fly off the 56 and 127. That should not be 2X. I'd be surprised if it was. Shreve's just trying to play some defense on the Pink Panther. 2 laps to go, meanwhile, for Chad Griggs. What a race this has been for fourth. Shreves, Atkinson, Gollner, Reynolds, all partying in this battle. Even give credit to Wilson, who was in this battle at one point. Great slider from Atkinson, but he bikes it. Final lap, meanwhile, underway. And it's Chad Griggs and the Scott Thomason Racing 27 out in front. Win number 3 of the season. Checkers wave. Chad Griggs takes it home. Blake Chapman second. And guess what, Bill? Your car's on the podium as Patrick Spangler brings it home in third. Shreves in fourth. Atkinson in fifth. And Chad Griggs is going to need some help to put on victory lane because I don't know what happened. He just put the car on his side. He was celebrating a little bit too early, though, guys. Somebody help this man. Here comes Brian Moore Jr. trying to get that car up on 4 wheels. This will, everyone's trying to help out. There we go. He won't have a wing. Nope, he does have the wing. He's all good. He is all good. Just a little scuff. Okay, we're going to have to see how he did that. Uh-oh. I hope they didn't give him 12X unless he was lagging there. Okay, so how did Griggs put this on 2 wheels? That's what I want to know. So it was on the high side in 1 and 2. All is good. All is good. Ah, he was celebrating. He did a 360 too early and caught the wall. Chad, you saved the burnouts for after the top 3. Oh, brother. Oh, man, oh, man. Hey, shout out to all the drivers, though, for coming in at least. Griggs the winner. Chapman second. Spangler third. Shreves fourth. Atkinson up 13 spots to finish fifth. He's your biggest mover of the race. Let's look at the rest of the field. Great run from Terry Landis, up 9 spots. But shout out to all the drivers as a whole. At a track like Knoxville, only 1 caution tonight. That's awesome. The drivers should definitely be proud of themselves, that's for sure. Top 3 are all in. And let's begin with Patrick Spangler. Patrick, this has to, I mean, I know you finished third, but this has to feel like a win because you got Bill Calder's paint scheme on the podium tonight. Oh, I think his mic is muted. Patrick, your mic is muted.
Yep, gotcha now. Thank you.
Right.
But yeah, it was cool to get it up on the podium there. Would have liked to win it. But the top side was just super rough. Chad had the balls there to run the top and worked out for him. I almost put in the wall a couple times, and I know if I bury it and crash out, I'm probably going to lose the championship. So I just was trying to keep it right side up and play conservative there.
How are you feeling going into next week at Charlotte?
I just can't crash. Both my drops are for weeks I couldn't make it, so they were both zeros. So I should have a decent size gap going into there, but like anything can happen. I crash out and I'd lose it there at the last race.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to?
Just you for the awesome broadcast each week, Roger for running the league. Shout out to Bill. Everybody in the league's talked to him. He's the first guy you meet when you join up the league, registers, does all the behind-the-scenes Facebook stuff and countless other things. Hopefully he starts feeling better. and Triangle's racing, all of us racing in the Renegades tonight, and Dad and Uncle back home watching.
All righty, man. Well, we'll let you go. Great job tonight, and best of luck next week.
Thank you.
That one definitely for Bill, that's for sure. Let's go to our second place finisher, Blake Chapman. Blake, take me through your race as a whole.
Yeah, the car felt really good actually, Marty. Usually Patrick's the guy to beat here, and felt like we had a faster car than Patrick, so that felt good. But Chad was just kind of on a different level tonight. Felt really good, and at 1 and 2, they're running that kind of slider line and hitting that grip on the exit of 2 towards the top there. That felt really good, and I could keep pace with Chad. But it just felt like in 3 and 4, I'd almost get behind him there in dirty air, and he'd just be able to pull away from me, and I wasn't able to find anything else down there. But overall, I think we had the second place car tonight, and just glad we could stay out of trouble and park it on the podium.
What'd you feel worked well for your car as a whole?
Yeah, I think I really felt like I could go anywhere with this car. I didn't think the bottom was going to be fast at the beginning of the race, but it turned out to be pretty quick in 3 and 4. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything down there 1 and 2, but I could run the middle, I could run a slider line. I didn't try running the top too much. It got pretty Tetris up there, but I felt like I could really move around wherever I wanted to with this car.
Well, man, great job tonight. Sell some popcorn for the holidays, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. First, I got to shout out Bill Calder. Got to let him know that we're all thinking about him. Can't say enough about Bill and everything he's done for the league. So we're all wishing him a speedy recovery. And of course, I got to thank my parents and grandparents, all the boys down at the Christ Sim Racing team, especially Terry for running with me tonight. Got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. And of course, like you said, holiday season, it's a great time to buy some popcorn. Galen's Gourmet Popcorn makes for a great Christmas gift. You can head over to their website and don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T, at checkout for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. And I got to thank you for putting this broadcast on, Marty.
Well, buddy, great job tonight, and best luck next week at Charlotte. I know that's one you're going to want to win for sure.
Absolutely. Thanks, Marty.
So the salesman Blake Chapman gets it done. And now we go to Victory Lane to talk with Chad Griggs. The one that got away from last week came back to you, man. That's got to feel good that this race only had one yellow and that it came on lap 23.
Yeah, it does. And I didn't want that yellow either. But fortunately, it worked out a little bit better this week.
I'm not going to lie, though. I thought for a moment it was going to be the same thing as last week. You being so good on the long run and the short run being tough to get into it. But nah, that short run, we could see even from the heat races that you were going to be the car to beat.
Yeah, I kind of hit on something today with the setup here and putting in some practice, but and it's a change that I've tinkered with over and over and over the last year, and it's never gone the other way. And this week, for whatever reason, how I was driving, whatever, this change made all the difference. So.
Going to be tough going into next week, man, for Charlotte with Patrick Spangler finishing third. I'm not sure what the points look like. Patrick, if you're still listening, give me an update with the drops in effect. How are you feeling going on in?
I feel good. I like Charlotte as well. It to me, it drives a lot like Knoxville does without the banking. The banking being the only difference, but yeah, I feel good there, and if I put my best foot forward and do the best that I can, and we'll just let the chips fall where they are. When I moved up here this season, I wanted to shoot for top 3 in points, and I think I've proved that I can do that, and so that is an accomplishment for me.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to on the run?
Thank Roger for the league, you guys for the broadcast, Scott Thomason Racing, my team. And again, also, I don't even know where he finished. I didn't even look. I was a little bit too winded and freaked out. But also like to thank Jesse Bandy for all the practice and time that we put in and bouncing ideas off each other, helping each other get better. And then I'd also like to thank Josh Whiteman for my paint jobs as well.
Well, great job tonight. Congratulations on the win. Definitely deserve this one. The perfect night for you. Well done. It's always tough to have a perfect night, but you did it.
Thanks, Marty. Appreciate it.
Chad Griggs dominates Knoxville this evening. Congratulations to him on the performance. We haven't talked about it yet, but let's give you your schedule for the rest of the week on to next week. Oh, wait a second. Let me see if I can bring Chad back in. I forgot. Chad, are you still there? Chad, you still got a copy? Nope, I think he turned.
Yes, I
we got him. What the hell happened on that burnout, man? Put it upside down.
Yeah. I practice driving, not celebrating, so I might be a little bit better at driving the car than I am at celebrating.
Well, hey, glad you got some help to get that thing back on all four wheels.
Yeah, I appreciate all them doing that.
All righty, man. Now we'll let you go. Great job tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right. There we go. I forgot to ask him that. So let's get to the schedule for what is coming up here for the rest of the week on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. Definitely an exciting time, that's for sure. 2 races left to go all around. Tomorrow night, we've got retreads Tuesday. I have the winter schedule. That's for the fall. All right, retreads Tuesday. We've got fixed 360s at Fallujah, pickup trucks at Daytona. Shaggy TV will have the broadcast. That'll begin at 7 o'clock. Wednesday night, we've got Hometown Heroes beginning at 7:45 at Knoxville for 360s and 410s. Thursday night Thunder, we've got small blocks at big blocks at Fallujah. Right now, I'll be on the broadcast at 7 o'clock. And then Championship Week begins Monday at Charlotte. Don't want to miss out. 7 o'clock with the open 358s, then Rebels and Renegades. We are definitely looking forward to it on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. So with that being said, we will bid adieu on this Monday night. Thanks so much for joining us here in Knoxville. On behalf of everyone at the Coast to Coast Racing League, all the fine drivers and sponsors, Roger Craig, his great group of admins, I'm Marty Scala saying so long. Congratulations to your winners tonight. Open 358s, Anthony Morano. Rebels was Randy Shreves. Chad Griggs and the Renegades. There's the cushion cam. That's clogged up. That'll need a cleaning. Bill Calder, this one's for you tonight, man. We're thinking of you. Get well soon.